The last video I did was at Hobby Lobby looking at what model kits they had currently and supplies. This time we are heading over to Michael's here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. This was a store that I had high hopes for. I've been here multiple times in the past, unfortunately about 6 months ago, and they did have a pretty good model selection as well as supplies. I had to walk around for about a good 5-6 minutes to actually find the location of the model kits as they did move. I first looked at the front of the store around the middle section where they were last year and they weren't there, and then I started looking around the art supply aisles to the left of me here and I couldn't find them, but then I walked the back wall, and at the back wall is where they actually were, right here on the right hand side. And if you look, you'll see that there are some model kits they've had for quite some time. Nothing special here, a very small section. In the past they had roughly 10 to 15 kits with about 2 to 3 of each kit in stock. This time very little. Here we have the X-Acto blade company, which is a good blade company if you're starting out, as well as paint brushes, glues, the glue tips that you'll see here, and then also the tester paints, and these are all the acrylics, I believe, maybe some acrylics and enamels, I can't remember, but there were some colors I didn't see, like some of the metallic ones, so I did grab a few for myself. But overall, a very small selection here at Michael's regarding paint supplies and supplies itself to build a model kit. Here we have the model kits. The first one was actually down on the floor, so I flipped it over and looked at it. It was the Top Gun Mavericks FA-18E. Then we have the US Arizona here, a couple other battleships, USS Missouri. There was another one, USS Missouri again, I'm sorry. The P-61 Black Widow, and then we had the single and lone model kit, the 71 Olds 442. And this one I did not pick up for being $30. There's a kit I already have, so it wasn't anything new to me that I needed. That was really what was here in the section for model kits. I definitely was not excited and thrilled for this. They definitely did put it down. I knew a couple people on Facebook. I've seen that they don't have any model kits at all at their Michaels, so maybe this is the last that will be here at this one, but I'll come back in a couple months and see. I did look at other actual spots for supplies and such, and did find some other things that were useful. Here we have some things that were right next door to those model kits in the miniatures and scenery section, and this was stuff that I could see using for dioramas in the future. If you do a junker build and use some weeds or some grass or maybe some mud, this seemed to be a good spot to actually utilize some of those things that could be to scale for those type of sceneries and those dioramas. Next we have the oil paints. I do get these oil paints probably once every couple of years with my weathering that I'll do, especially with race cars. The browns, the blacks, the grays, and the whites can help give you that smoke, that exhaust buildup, that road rash, and utilizing these mineral spirits down here will help make it where it's thinner and get them to where they need to be for you. With Michael's and Hobby Lobby, the one thing about being an art and hobby store is you have to have paintbrushes. Here at Michael's, there's an extensive amount of paintbrushes, different sizes, different types of brushes from oil to acrylic, from $3.99 and up. To the right, you'll see that there are lots or packages of brushes that you can get that are a little bit cheaper that can just do the job as well. I prefer the ones that are a little more expensive. They last longer, I have better control of them, and I can do a lot more things with them overall. For the drafting section here, I typically come here and see what type of stencils or rulers they have. Sometimes they have flexible rulers that can help me get a curve that I need for doing a paint job with tape. The circle stencils are great if you need to cut out a piece of tape to cover a wheel or a tile to do the bead lock and paint that, or anything of that type of nature, which is great here. These jelly roll markers, I get the white, the silver, and the black. The white ones are great to use for the sidewall of the tire. If you have, a Mickey Thompson sidewall, you want to write Mickey Thompson on there or color it in, that's great. A lot of these pens along the wall here are also great to be utilizing, especially the paint ones down here. The paint ones, I've started to see a lot of the guys that utilize the comic book style Japanese model kits with that fast look paint job on them. they'll come and use these. I've seen through YouTube and through a couple of Facebook pages. Overall, a great selection there. Here are the spray cans and the rattle can paints. Everything is locked up. There are no more testers here. The closest thing we have to paint to utilize on these model kits is unfortunately the 2X clear Krylon. They do have smaller Krylon paints over here. I personally do not use any of these paints on my model kits as I've never had a good experience with bubbling or issues going from paint to paint, even staying on the same one. But overall, that was my trip here at Michael's. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching.